Here we are again. Another day, another game to go over.
Another game to give a fighting chance to.
Indeed. So, as my colleague has so rightfully said, this is Fighting Chance to...
Episode 2.
Yep.
Darksiders 1.
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo.
So, we are going to give a game that we feel has been underrepresented in the gaming community, or one that has been underappreciated, a fighting chance, and analyse it to look over its good points, its bad points, its creamy
and its
middles.
in-between points.
So, today, as we have mentioned, we are going to be looking over Darksiders.
The first one.
The very first one.
Not the very popular second one.
Or
not the already forgotten third one. The sort of halfway child that came first. The one that everyone's like, oh yeah, that happened, right?
From the
Is it good? Maybe.
Yes, from the dead company that is THQ.
Well, they're back to life.
Well, sort of.
They're THQ Nordic now.
They are.
Yeah.
So, give a bit of backstory on the game.
Came out 2009.
It did.
360, PS3, I believe also on PC.
Okay. Well, the game itself was made by Visual Games, and then it was published by THQ. And it's based during the apocalypse.
Yeah, a very long apocalypse. That
Where
goes on for like 100 years.
The three kingdoms of man, demon, and angel have come together for war. Except man is nowhere near ready and get wiped out immediately in the process.
Yeah, pretty much right at the start. They're all dead.
So, war comes down to see what's
this
what.
This is war, the horsemen of the apocalypse,
Indeed.
not just the concept.
War. So, yes, the horsemen of the
summoned
apocalypse. War.
Because he's supposed to be summoned during the apocalypse.
And he goes down there to see what's what and to say
And so
what's going on.
Let's bring war.
And
The
then
concept.
finds out that he's been framed.
He's been tricked. And basically the Council of, what are they, the Council of Elders or whatever, the big rock guys.
Yeah.
They tell War, you fucked up, you didn't file the paperwork, you're not meant to be here on this day. So we sentence you to 100 years of...
Naughty step.
Yep.
Of sitting on the corner.
Sitting on your own. You can't join in the fighting, because you came in too early.
Yep, despite the fact he is war, but never
It's
mind.
kind of his thing, but yeah, he's stripped of all his power. They're like, just sit here for 100 years, then you can go and join the fight.
Yes, he essentially is ethereal cleanup crew at this point, who goes in after 300 years to a very destroyed Earth, where skirmishes between angels and demons are taking place all over the place.
Yeah, and he kind of wants to get revenge also.
By finding out who did him wrong.
He wants to find out who done it,
And
then fuck him up.
Yeah. So, the game, as we said, was 2009, and a War Mastered Edition was released in 2016.
Yeah, and it's actually not bad. It's pretty much the exact same thing.
Yes.
Just prettier.
So that brings us on to a, speaking of the War Mastered Edition, brings us on to a good point to start off with, in the form of the graphics for the game.
They're alright.
They're nice.
They're not great.
The graphics only for the characters seem to be.
Yeah, characters are really well designed.
The characters are very
the main
colourful.
Characters, the enemies, even two bosses, they're all
They pop
clearly
out.
a lot of time and effort was put into them.
Mm-hmm.
But they pop out because they're sitting on fucking bland backgrounds.
The backgrounds are not very thrilling.
Like
Oh
you're
my.
in a modern fucking big city, there's a lot of skyscrapers and they're grey. And the ground is grey. And it's
But that's
cloudy
meant-
and
that's
the
meant-
sky is grey.
I guess that's meant to be the point with the apocalypse.
Yeah.
You wouldn't find very many colourful things in a broken city.
Everyone's dead.
Yes.
It's not
even the buildings.
Even the buildings and the ground and the sky.
Yeah.
All dead.
And
Not the prettiest.
No, not the prettiest. But the characters make up for it with being able to pop out.
Yeah, they're nice.
And being able to be truly a sight for sore eyes. So, on the topic of characters.
I was going to say...
Oh, go ahead.
The gameplay.
Okay.
We haven't mentioned it yet.
No, we haven't.
And it's really the most important part, I think.
Sure, why is that?
Because it's a game.
It's good to know. Yep, okay, that's a game.
Fucking ain't no game without
Gameplay.
It's a hack and slash, semi-RPG with a lot of puzzle solving in dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of open world-ish.
Okay. So would you say then it's original in its gameplay?
No.
Not even a bit.
I would say what it does is it takes bits of other games and sticks them all together.
Okay. So, yes, we have certainly seen that whenever playing the game there are elements of God of War, definitely.
There are.
And Zelda.
And Zelda, because you go in dungeons, the next room's locked by a key, you gotta go find the chest that opens the key, and then, oh no, you can't get through the next room because there's
I was thinking
a
more.
puzzle.
I was thinking
And
more
then you find
of
the one item in that dungeon that solves the puzzle, and you go back to the room like, yeah, I got
thinking
it.
more of the inventory
Oh,
numbers that you have, but we'll get on that a little bit later.
The boomerang,
Yeah.
the hook shot, the completely original things that have never been used in every Zelda game since.
And we even
all of them.
we even start to see a bit of portal mechanics as well thrown into the mix,
Oh yeah, blue and red portals. They could have just changed the color,
like purple and green.
purple and green, black and white.
Yeah.
Anything but blue and red. Like, just try and differentiate.
You mean blue and orange?
Whatever. Orange and red are the same thing.
But it's important to say as well that while it does take a lot from very good games, it doesn't master all of them.
No, it's not bad at what
It's-
it does.
Definitely, it seems like they've taken a lot of game concepts and added it to their game, and it's become a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
They might be a master of none, but you'll still get a lot of variety.
You got variety, because you got hack and slash combat, you got leveling up, you got armor upgrades.
You got on-rail shooting parts as well.
Yeah, they're fun. They break up.
They're cinematic as well.
Because it's not like you just don't go and hack and slash. You hack and slash, and then you do some platforming, and then you hop in a griffin and do an on-rail shooting bit like in Star Fox, and then you solve puzzles in a dungeon.
So there's a lot of variety, a lot of if you're looking for a game that sort of covers every base and looks for a variety of ways to entertain you.
Yeah, like if you don't know what you want, you're like, do I want a straight up action game? Do I want to explore? Do I want to just
Solve puzzles.
solve puzzles? You're like, go to Darksiders.
Yeah, Darksiders
Got all
would be a solid, strong bet, because that would bring us on to another little good point, that the reception of Darksiders was strong.
Quite well received, yeah.
It was very
All
strong.
like fucking mid 80s, right?
Yeah, because we managed to gather some review scores from whenever the game
Numbers.
first came out. This is back whenever it was on the consoles. Metacritic gave it very strong reviews across all three platforms: PS3, Xbox 360, and PC.
And the Wii U that I forgot about, but that was the War Mastered edition, I think.
Yeah. And then you had the War Master Edition for the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Wii U, which gave strong results as well in the 80s.
It's all mid 80s, which is like, it's up there. And
Yeah, Eurogamer gave it an 8 out of 10, the Game Informer gave it an 8.5 out of 10, GameSpot gave it 8 out of 10, IGN,
fucking 9.
it was 9 in Australia,
8.9
8.9
in the
UK, and 7.8 in the US, and Play gave it 10 out of 10.
Now we got X-Play, who don't count because they didn't like it.
2
2 out of 5, not good.
So the game was well received and it was appreciated, but
People liked it.
yeah,
Did
People-
anyone love it? Maybe not so much.
I mean, it did manage to get a sequel, but then again, you got to think that
Yeah.
THQ were in a bit of danger later on in their life.
Although the sequel did massively improve on like everything.
So it did show a lot of promise,
Yeah.
but it's not as big as, say, a God of War would be.
No, not AAA, double A game.
Yeah.
It's not a budget game. It's just in between.
Okay. So I
But
mean,
it's
the games market for that time was released in January 2010. So it's at the start of the year. You'd think then they'd try and get a jump on the gaming market for the year,
Yeah,
but
you would hope nothing else good came out in January.
yes, it did. A lot of things did.
January and February 2010, good months.
Oh, they were strong
Great
months for
months.
games.
Bayonetta,
Bayonetta and
Fable 2.
when were they released?
On the same gosh darn day.
As poor Darksiders, so automatically
Yeah.
Bayonetta, one of the strongest franchises in Nintendo right now.
Yeah,
And
it also came out on the
Fable
360 and PS3. Don't
Fable,
forget.
Fable 2, which
Was-
before
Before everyone knew how not great it was.
or knew how shite
Yeah.
was sort of respected.
Don't forget Mass Effect 2,
Oh yeah,
which was fucking mega hyped up. And also,
delivered.
yeah, it's fucking great. I mean, back then, if I had a choice between Mass Effect 2 and Darksiders, I'd be like, yeah, Mass Effect. I probably did pick Mass Effect 2 first.
Yeah. A lot of people
Almost
would because
certainly.
the first one
Yeah.
had such aplomb to it. And then you had February and March, I should say, with Dante's Inferno and Bioshock 2 in February.
Fucking God of War 3 in March. You just know there's people who are waiting for God of War 3 and they're like, Darksiders kind of looks goodish.
And then they got the news.
Yeah,
March.
God of War 3.
Hold on to your money.
Okay, never mind.
Keep those purse straps tight. God of War 3 is coming out, son. It's going to rock your face. And then put it back on. And then rock it again.
So yeah, it had a lot of competition.
Definitely.
It's a tough fucking market when you've got
franchises.
You got classic new franchises, Bayonetta, Dragon Age Origins coming out, and you've got highly anticipated sequels
like for Final Fantasy 13.
Final Fantasy 13, Bioshock 2, Mass Effect 2, and then Darksiders is just this thing no one's heard of.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, maybe I'll give it a go once I'm finished with all this other awesome shit.
But give it a go, we did, and
we liked it.
It was very, very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Once you realise the weaknesses of the game, you start to enjoy
look
it.
past them because the other stuff is good enough. Like the story's good.
The story's it's
simple.
it's traditional. The story is traditional. Good guy, well, not good guy, but protagonist turns up. Protagonist Shujinko turns up.
Oh, we'll get to Shujinko someday. Anyone who's played Mortal Kombat Deception probably doesn't hate it as
Feel
much
my
as we
pain.
do, but we'll get there someday. Main character shows up, gets fucked.
Yep, loses
all his power is set back,
and has to build himself back up again. And then whenever he gets to the final encounter, he's stronger than he's ever been.
And he wins. Spoilers. Well, he kind of does and doesn't. I will not spoil it exactly. Point is, story's good, decent. Characters are well written. Voice acting's good.
The voice acting is very strong.
It is. Mark Hamill's in there.
Mark Hamill, if all fans of Mark Hamill would love hearing him in this, because he sounds exactly like the Joker.
Yeah, he doesn't even try and hide it.
No, he sounds exactly like the Joker from Batman. but that's
not a bad thing.
A great voice.
It's like you can put him in everything. You're like,
he plays like
just the Joker, but
he plays like he plays a wispy black ghost snot, and
yeah, who guides you on your way.
And generally loves to, because you're seen as his handler.
Fuck.
You're seen as his handler for the Council of Elders. Yes, Thundercrack. And so Mark Hamill is acting as your handler, so he enjoys tormenting you a little bit.
Because he can get away with it.
Which means that there's a bit of a subplot there as well.
Yeah, you get. I mean, it's not much of a subplot, but it is kind of fun to watch.
Yeah. And
it's like war
and it's one that comes from Phil
Mark
Mark
Hamill's character. Virgil?
Okay, so he's known as the Watcher.
Yeah.
And he watches.
That's no wonder I couldn't fucking remember. He didn't have a name. He watches. He does.
But then, of course, you have other strong characters in the game, and I think that's a very good positive as well.
Sorry, I just looked at our notes. And
What?
I forgot that we've written the phrase, well, a small penis is nothing to be ashamed of. It's irrelevant to the discussion, but there it is.
That's a bit of a tip from your friends at Bantercade.
Just a little tip too. Don't be ashamed.
Okay, so the characters.
The characters are good.
The
They're fun
characters
to watch.
The characters are good. They're fun to watch. There's no throwaway characters in the game.
Yeah.
So each one has a strong purpose, either to the story or to your development, or both.
Or world building. I
There's-
feel like that's what the watcher's point is mostly.
And it doesn't become annoying having someone hang over you because he only pops in with the occasional quip that works for the
Just whenever he
situation.
needs to be there.
So it's not exactly Navi in Zelda or some other throwaway characters in different games.
Atreus.
Yeah. Or boy. Yeah.
Boy.
So it makes it interesting to listen to each person and their story and how they add to it.
We're kind of singing the game's praises right now.
Yes.
The gameplay's fun, the story's good, the characters are well designed.
The voice acting's very strong as well.
So what? Why is it not popular? Or why didn't it do so well?
Honestly, I think probably the competition was so strong. Bayonetta at that time came in like a thunderbolt,
Yeah, it really just smashed it.
and it's become a strong franchise ever since. something like Nintendo.
So you reckon if it didn't have all that competition in January 2010, it would have done a bit better?
Might have done a bit better, yeah. Because the reviews gave it good scores. The reception was very
But
strong for it.
We watched a few reviews, and we did notice a trend, which was they all say how derivative it is of other things. Like
But that
God
doesn't...
of War, Zelda, Darksiders.
That doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
Yeah, I know, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but it's like, it's not a point in its favour.
Yeah.
So like, even if the review says it's great, but it does all these things not very well,
Yeah.
then people might think, oh well, it's just a budget Zelda, it's just a budget God of War.
Yeah, they're just trying to crank something
play
out.
that shit. Play those games.
Yeah. So they're sort of feeling then as a mixture of genres, and it doesn't really focus on one,
Yeah,
so it lets
doesn't do
everything
anything
else fail.
brilliantly. Just does
Yeah.
a lot of stuff well-ish.
It does its best.
Yeah.
But so it's difficult to say really why it didn't do so well. It's probably one of those things that it's a new series that people weren't aware of, and
Yeah, it doesn't have any big names behind it.
it is
Like it's-
it is Vigil Games with
Whoever the
THQ
fuck they
behind it. Yeah. So honestly, I think it was probably one of those things where the crowd was so big that it just got drowned. But saying that though, it certainly holds its own. I would
Yeah, it's pretty
agree.
good. Like, it's not bad.
The
You should definitely play it.
the story is good fun. The inventory system that they have is very...
You mean, like the
different items that
Oh
you
yeah, the
can
different
get.
items you can get, they're fun to use too.
You can get
You
such...
get sub-weapons like the big scythe.
Yeah, you mean Death,
Oh, Death
Scythe.
'cause I
Your
guess he
brother's
doesn't need
own
it.
scythe. Yes, he's on vacation during the Black Plague. And then you have Pestilence's guns. I didn't know
yeah.
Pestilence had guns, but that's neither here nor there. And was it Fury's whip?
Yeah,
Because
why not?
the most furious weapon I can imagine is a whip.
There's a whip.
Whip it good, everybody.
So yeah, it's good.
But
It's a good game and you should play it.
okay.
Get the War Mastered edition. It's slightly better.
So yeah, definitely the story, while simple, is certainly buffed by the characters in it. If it was anyone else, the game would be meh. I would wager.
What do you mean?
If it was any sort of situation,
Oh, okay, yeah.
any other situation, it would be sort of meh. But because you are playing as the literal
like-
embodiment of battle and war,
It's on an epic scale.
and a horseman of the unholy rage of the apocalypse, it works.
That's pretty good.
It works. It tends to work. Because dynamic characters like that really tend to make a game.
Yeah.
So, a lot of positives for the game. We're going to briefly touch then on why it might not. Why it might not be so good.
So it's just kind of it's just not that much to it. Like, you got variety, but not much.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the game you haven't seen before if you've played other games.
Yeah.
It's not going to blow your mind. It's not going to be like, oh, what a plot twist, or oh, such an imaginative dungeon. It's just like, yeah, this is fun. And it's hard. It's kind of hard to recommend that over something that's really good.
Yeah.
Like, if you're like, here's the thing, it's fucking great. Or here's this other thing that's not bad.
Yeah.
You're going to recommend the great thing.
Yeah. Like, if the combat... Don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
The combat is fluid.
Yeah.
There are very little games that have made such a fluid senseless combat, and you can
But it's
change your
also-
weapons as you go.
It's
And
kind of basic, because like, you don't even have any combos that use both weapons. Like,
Yeah.
you can't go from... There's no combos that use a sword and then the scythe and then back to the sword. It's like you switch between them. It's a basic combat system.
It does stop the combat from getting dull, though, with the variety of different weapons that you have.
And all the other stuff in between. You know, solving puzzles. The on-rails shooter sections. Good.
So after that you have the backgrounds, of course, which you mentioned earlier. The drab,
Yeah, they're pretty dull. It's not,
dreary
it's not a
backgrounds.
nice game to look at most of the time.
Yeah, the characters are good to look at, but you have to go from character to character. So the backgrounds then tend to leave things a little bit dull.
Yeah, the areas you explore are not the most exciting.
Enthralling.
Yeah. Ooh, a graveyard. The desert.
Ooh.
So interesting.
You sort of have to try and make your
City
own.
streets. Oh, fuck. Never seen those.
So, yeah, the game I would certainly think has a lot more going for it than not.
Yeah.
Just
I would recommend it.
Just to
I wouldn't recommend it over other games if you had to make a choice.
If you had to make a specific choice, if you're a hard fan of action, or a hard fan of puzzles, or a hard fan of RPGs,
This
then
is not the way to go.
this is not the way to go to fulfill your desire.
But if someone said, "What's the cool game?" You go, "Darksiders."
It covers all bases,
Yeah, have a go.
and it's fun.
You'll enjoy it.
Like, I'm
It's like looking at ham cheese sandwich. It's nice, but it's basic. And if someone was like, "Do you want a burger or do you want a ham and cheese sandwich?" You're like, "I'll have a burger."
Mm.
But if someone makes you a ham and cheese sandwich, you're like, "Yeah, I'll enjoy that
yeah.
for a couple of minutes."
Normally, I would be of the opinion that you shouldn't have to put up with a game
Ham and cheese sandwich.
or ham and cheese sandwiches. You shouldn't have to put up with a game if
No.
it's inferior.
Like if it's
but,
to the point where you're like, "Oh, maybe this will get better later."
yeah.
That's not good. But Darksiders is just, it's all right from the start.
Right from the start, you know what it's going to be like, and it's X, Y, Z. Go here, do this, fight this thing in this particular way.
It's very straightforward.
And the puzzles as well, at least, are fun and imaginative too.
Yeah, they're alright.
It does leave your head scratching a tiny bit sometimes.
Yeah,
They're not
sometimes.
overly complex.
No, there's just not much new in it.
But even if you're decked out with the holy gadgets that you have, or the unholy gadgets sometimes, like finding these collectibles,
Yeah, the
makes for a
collectibles
good
are
bit of fun.
because they're all worthwhile. You get, souls to upgrade your fucking abilities. You get life stone shards to upgrade your health.
and that all comes from a decent amount of exploration that you can
yeah.
do as well in the game.
Yeah,
Where you can
you're
swim
always
and-
getting something decent when you explore.
Yeah. So, yeah, there are definitely good
Yeah.
points, and there are definitely bad points.
I think we've talked pretty much as much as we can about Darksiders.
Well, I mean, we
'Cause,
can
like,
talk
usually
about.
we'd say what would happen in a sequel, but
There has been.
that did happen. Great.
It was yeah.
Darksiders 2 really fucking
Hit it hard out of the
that's
park,
where it hit its stride.
and
Of course,
then
it sort of fell off.
because
After
of
that
the
one.
THQ
Yeah.
crash
And Darksiders 3 happened, and I
has
think
happened.
most people have forgotten about that already.
Tiny a bit, yeah.
Oh, well.
So, just to go over a tiny bit of stats, so about the gameplay, not the gameplay,
sales.
the sales and the statistics for the player market. So the peak playership so far on the Steam edition has been about 3,388
Which is
in one
about
day, in
half,
1 month.
half as much as we saw for Brutal Legend,
Yeah,
and that was not a popular game.
no, it wasn't. So people either have it on consoles,
Yeah,
or it has fallen out of popularity a tiny bit.
I think it has. Like, it did sell 1.3 million copies, which is nice.
Over 9 years.
Yeah.
But that's still
That's not much.
it's a lot. It's a lot more than some other games.
Oh yeah, sure, but over 9 years, I mean, it's not great. But I guess it was kind of a budgety game anyway, so
Yeah.
it made them their money back.
But yeah, but these days it does seem to have
It's
lost
dropped
itself
off, Yeah,
because you'd be lucky to scratch over 200
Because if
people
someone-
at a time on Steam playing this game.
yeah. And if you're gonna play Darksiders too.
Mm.
It's just better in every way.
But this is a good starting point.
But it's still
I would
good.
say.
Yeah.
I would say if you got this game for a birthday or you saw it at a bargain bin,
Yeah, it's £10. You're like,
£10
It's worth
or
it.
like what $15,
it's worth that.
it's worth it. You'll enjoy it. You
will.
certainly won't sit there and think that you were
You won't go,
chipped
"Oh,
off
this
or
sucks."
yeah.
Maybe you'll not finish it. You'll get halfway through and just be satisfied.
Yeah. But
Okay.
if you come at it thinking that it's going to be a jack of all trades game and it's
Yeah.
not going to fulfill
Just don't
fulfill like an action fix,
Don't expect it to blow your mind.
but
Just expect it to be good.
just expect to be like just expect to
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Good.
If you give it too much pressure, it might crumble a tiny bit. But the story's good, the characters are fun,
The
the
gameplay is pretty good.
gameplay's pretty fun, the variety's pretty good, the puzzles are fun, the variety of gameplay in different sections of it is pretty good.
It's just-
The bosses are sick.
And the bosses
the-
are cool.
So, yeah, we would definitely suggest that if you were looking for something to play on a rainy day,
Fun action game. Do it.
give it a shot, give it a go, smash it out of the park, and see where it leads you.
And that'll leave us there.
That'll leave us there.
That'll be us there. I was
That'll
gonna say
be us there.
We're done.
So, thanks very much for sitting around with us, guys. Hope you enjoyed this very much shorter version of our.
I didn't.
We'll be coming at you soon with another game. We have a few in the pipeline already.
Yep. Don't know what it is, but it'll be good.
Yeah. So, here's to you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want us to try and follow, and comment on Twitter. And we'll talk to you later, guys.
Love you.
Love you more.